do believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again on another Conscious Evolution. Today's stream topic was inspired by ruminations of the mind before I fell asleep last night. I had to unlock my devices and get ice scorched to try and get it saved. And it's not that complicated. I could have probably remembered, but I was thinking to myself, you know, that in the far future, maybe I would like to go on an adventure with a friend or a beloved, where we go to an art class and we learn all of the basics all over again, you know. Go and learn how to art with a bunch of people who don't know how to art. Even though I feel I don't know how to art more than the other person might know how to art, I would like to live in a world where we allow ourselves to go and learn things that we already know. And the more I thought about that, the more significant of a feeling I felt was attached to why it is I would like that, you know. Again, attaching it to this understanding or this belief, at least, that we're going to live a little bit longer as human beings going forward than we have in the past, right? To try and readjust the objectives we have for life, the things that we kind of like prioritize. And then again, to see the objective ultimately as experience, learning, growing, right? And if experience is what we're here to get, if we don't allow ourselves to go and learn more things, because we think we already know it, how much experience are we actually losing due to that? I did have a brain fart and left my tablet. So I'm gonna go and get it. Kate is here. Hey, Kate. It's nice to have you, dear friend. Sending you lovin's. We have Joy Vive here as well. Hey, Kate. Enjoy. Chat amongst yous. Ask each other how your days are going. I'll be back in a second. Hopefully, it shouldn't take too long. How can I attach this to today's stream topic? Learning that which I already know. Yeah, I'm learning that I'm supposed to have my tablet with me when I hit go live. And it's new. Man, I'm home alone today. My family went to Pretoria for something. I know they went to Pretoria, but I don't know if they told me what they're going to Pretoria to for. Maybe they did. Maybe I was already mentally checked out, because it was again one of those things where my mom yesterday afternoon after streaming, she goes, "Did your dad tell you what's happening tomorrow?" I go, "No." My mom goes, "Well, we're going to Pretoria, something something, coming back Saturday afternoon." And I go, "Oh, thank you for letting me know at least. Better than being left in the blank, and then finding out this afternoon." There we go. All righty, righty. I'm back in comments in a second. There we go. How far away is Pretoria? Like 2.5 hours drive at most. 2.5 hours. So much lovin's. Hey Natalie, it's nice seeing you too. Hey Simon, bless you. Hey Luke. Everybody getting the big pink hand today. You're just waving at all of us. I'm aware of how weird hands are. I did end up getting another blister. Maybe you can see it. Apparently, if you're missioning, trying to loosen dirt for 4 hours in a setting, it starts putting bruises and blisters on your hands. I saw some really cool electric Landscaping? Nay. Construction equipment? Mm. Front end loader, auger, trench digger, you know, that kind of vibe of hydraulics, but all electric. And it just made me so happy just seeing that, being like, yeah, yeah. Because most of the front end loaders and diggers that I have been around had massive diesel engines, right? Like you literally hear them starting from 200 meters away. And the closer you get, the louder it gets to the point where you cannot hear the person talking on the other side of the vehicle kind of vibe. So yeah, like I don't know where I'm going with this as much as it's just I would like to learn how to use construction equipment as well. I have technically used a TLB before, but it's been so long ago that it feels like I'm out of practice. The higher dimensional fractal that I'm actually saying, but it's not coming out as that, is I'm looking forward to having machines that can move the dirt for me, right? I'll move the machine that moves the dirt. I'm fine with that, but sheesh, like throwing my flesh against the earth, it doesn't seem to work. Did they leave you with eggs? Yeah, they did. They did leave me with eggs. Fortunately, I got eggs. I had some. I had some leftover lasagna today with some rye bread. It was nice. I feel satiated. I do feel a little bit scatterbrained though. Why do I feel scatterbrained? I had like a bunch of excitement this morning to get out there and go and see stuff again. Yesterday I sprayed my plants with some silica. Did you know that like plants can eat silica? They can technically extract it from sand, and like diatomaceous earth is also high in silica, for example. But you can spray bioavailable forms of silica directly on your plants. And I bought the product due to the recommendations of people who know more than me. And I'm not really one for like wanting to buy products, especially since it's a it's a consumable. You're kind of using it, and it gets done, and then you have to buy more of it. But one of the lines that a dude said, is that he sprays his plants with it, and then by the next morning, his plants are literally lifting up. They call it like praying. When your leaves are like literally curling towards the sunlight or the LED lights. And after spraying my plants, some of them literally ripped themselves out of their low stress training. Like I have like these little wires that I keep the branches down with. And after spraying them with silica, they literally pulled themselves out of their branches. I was like, sheesh. It makes me feel so responsible, right? So responsible. Like the stuff we do to our plants and for our plants and around our plants influence them more than we know. It happens so fast as well. Like the whole kind of like working with life. It very much is like working with life. And I feel like even though I know so much of what I'm supposed to do, I'm still so excited to learn even more about it, right? Like, and I feel like I wish I had that energy, that passion, that excitement for all other things in my life as well. Because it's not as easy to be that stoked about things if you're not interested in them in that same way, right? If I was that stoked about like, learning how to use Blender, I would have probably been like a pretty decent Blender artist by now. But again, it just feels too low bandwidth, right? Like the stuff that's happening in my brain and the amount of like finagling that I have to do with my meat sticks to get what's in my brain to be there, it's just it hurts almost, right? It's again like throwing your flesh against the earth or throwing your flesh against the screen. It doesn't translate that way. I'm trying to understand myself right now as well. That is technically what today's stream topic was supposed to be, kind of like stimulating in our minds. That ultimately, even though it did come from the whole going to an art class, even though you're already an artist, right? It's like learning to, or starting all over again with this process of learning to know yourself, even though you've been yourself this whole time, right? Like really to get your know yourself like that. I think there's value in it. Oh, lasagna. I'm I'm just not gonna mention food. Like the more I mention food and the more I see how quickly things devolve, the more I'm convinced no food talk. What's with all of the pink Mickey Mouse house hands? Joy Vive is making sure everybody feels extremely seen. I think that's the intention. Are you going to run from room to room, making funny noises in your underwear? I mean, I didn't do that just yet, but I did like hop, skip, and jump. I did a hop, skip, and jumps. Technically, I did. Right, and I did have a shower indoors. My my shower's geyser has been busted for a few weeks now, and I shower cold, fortunately, so it's not that big of a deal. But every now and then, it's nice to have a hot shower. And since there was nobody in the house, you know, I could shower inside, and that was nice as well. I got to use some of my sister's hair products. I didn't even know she had those hair products, but it's like it's something I've never seen. It was called co-wash. I was like, the fuck is this? What is co-wash? And I read the back and it's like shea butter cleanser that doesn't strip your hair of oils, meninema skin. And I'm like, nice. So thank you, Shantai, for putting your products in the shower. So yeah, I'm not feeling too rowdy, at least from what I'm seeing. No making funny noises just yet. Maybe later tonight though. I thought I'd say hi in a big pink hand way instead of my usual little brown hand. Like especially with a little brown hand next to it, it seems especially little. It's nice to know you're informed better than the previous try. Exactly. General mindset meld. You seem upbeat. I do? Good. Yeah, good. I am feeling upbeat. I'm not feeling down. I'm just feeling a little bit stupid, you know, to be honest. I feel like I'm content. Maybe stupid is it's a mean word. Comfortable might be better, right? Like that comfort that makes you want to not get up. That comfort that makes you not want to do math, right? That comfort that makes you want to use your calculator instead. I'm feeling that way right now. That's my general mood, right? And I'm not upset about it because again, I'm still showing up for my responsibilities. I can I can feel like I don't want to do anything and still get things done, right? And that's usually how it ends up being, you know, most of the time. I crave progress. Me too, Luke. I also crave progress. Yet I realize that progress is inevitable. You know, like it's like craving the sunset or craving the sunrise. Like it's coming. Progress is coming, Luke, for both of us. It's just again how long we wait. You know, how long is the night gonna be before the dawn sets in? And depending on where you are, it's different, right? On a planetary level, there are some places who have 20-hour days or whatever, right? But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is that there is a lot of there's a lot of growth for us still waiting, man. And this idea of progress is never ending technically as well. Like if we crave progress, we're craving the never ending, right? It's like craving money, unfortunately, too. Because I can crave money and then I can, through my craving of money, make a million monies. And then I'm like, having million monies is so million nice. I want 2 million monies to feel 2 million monies nice. And then I get 2 millions monies. And then I'm like, 2 millions monies feels 2 millions nice is nice. Go more millions. And it doesn't stop, right? Where is it gonna stop? There is no point in stopping because it's like a perpetual loop that we get ourselves stuck in. Like it's a metric for progress in some way in our minds, right? Maybe that is why people end up hoarding money, is because it's like a metric, like a loading bar. Like the more number, the more progress or whatever. Potential for progress. Conditioning only, co-wash, no shampoo. Yeah, that is exactly what it is. I didn't know it was it was conditioning only wash. But thank you for illuminating my mind. I appreciate that, Louisiana. Learning, right? Learning things about my hair, even though I've had it this whole freaking time. Yeah. Joy Vive is making sure people feel extra seen. I didn't get a pink hand. Joy Vive is making everybody except Sam feel especially seen. I like how, Luke, Sam, and Joy Vive simultaneously just make sure. I don't know if you friends intended for it to look like that, and I don't know if it looks like that on your chat, but like an entity with four hands coming out of all of his sides is waving at you now. Sam, we summoned the demon to make sure Sam feels seen. I shouldn't probably not say Sam is gonna take this shit seriously. She's like, bro, don't start, don't use that. I'm sorry, Sam. Well, okay, Joy, Simon, Natalie, Luke, Sam, and Joy, Viv, and Mojo. Bless all of you friends. Pip is so cute. Is she in the background? Not right now. She might have been for a while. She was super cute during the yoga as well. She was just like completely on her back, lost in her little la la land. Shea butter rules. It was nice. What do you usually wash your hair with? A bar of soap? No, I use sand. You take a bunch of sand and then you put it in your hair and you scrub. Okay, I'm joking. I'm not actually using sand. I use shampoo and conditioner, right? Like I thought that's all there was, the shampoo and conditioner. I've heard about like after treatments and cares. I've heard about that stuff, and your friends have taught me about leave-in conditioner, which I still haven't started using, technically speaking, right? But I haven't heard about co-wash. I've heard about using conditioner as a wash, right? Like washing your hair with your conditioner. But I've never seen a co-wash, like that at least. It felt nice as well. It felt very thick, very creamy. It was like if I didn't know better, I'd eat it kind of vibe. Comfort zone rules. It's nice. I don't know if it's the rules necessarily. I'll use a calculator if I can't find a pencil. I have absolutely no qualms with using a calculator whatsoever, Luke. I am the type of person who would refuse to do math inside my head because I have a calculator, right? I literally, like actually, have something that's called a computer in my pocket, right? It computes so that I don't have to. Right? I like school and all if you can do quick maths in your brains, but I can for certain know that my math is at least correct, right? And I don't have to second guess myself. I don't have to recount my steps. I don't have to do any of that. I can just be like, oh, good, my computer computed the thing I want computed. How does co-washing work? Wouldn't that just weigh the hair down and cause protein lockup? I mean, look for yourself. Doesn't look too build-uppy. Looks pretty crispy, all things considered, right? Because I haven't washed my hair in a few days as well, so there should be some oil buildup from my scalp, but yeah, it looks like hair to me. I don't know if you should use it every day necessarily, right? Maybe that's what you're asking. Apparently, the people just earn 7K a month of the happiest are just sticking over. Yeah, I heard that as well, right? Like there's a threshold. It's like a threshold of, I think, as you said, like 7K a month sounds about right. It's like 60 to $80,000 a year is like the upper echelons of like happiness to money ratio, right? After that, even though there is still marginal increases in happiness, technically speaking, it is disproportionate to the amount of wealth accumulated after that point, right? So, yeah. And if you ask people who have a bunch of cash, right? If you ask people with $300,000 in savings, how much they would like in savings, they say 900,000. If you ask a person of 900,000, they say, three times that as well. Like it keeps going about three times. Like we want, on average, about three times as much as we have right now. All right. And then we feel, then I'll be okay. But the joke is, as soon as you have three times as much as you have right now, you still believe you want three times as much as you have right now. And since you have more, that as much as you want gets more as well. Right. And that's why we have our, in some people's words, parasitic, exploitative upper class. I'm not sure. how it works, but it's a whole thing. Yeah, it's true. It apparently is still washing, through abrasion, the stuff, the grime off of your hair, but without stripping any oils. Apparently, that's the point. I think it depends on your hair's porosity, Sam. Whether using a co-wash is beneficial. Most drugstore shampoos are just degreasers that strip your hair. There we go. Me and JV from the same fractal. Missing Duck Dad and Kristen here, sending them both lovins. Kristen is probably having a good time in her adventures right now. Duck Dad is playing drums or resting up or something. I don't save numbers. I use so I don't forget how to remember. I don't save numbers I use so I don't forget how to remember. Like the people you call, you don't save their numbers. So every single time you want to like send one of them a WhatsApp, you retype the number into your phone and then you send that number a message. I need more context, Luke. I got $1,200 in my $1,200 in my saving pot. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot more than many people have. Apparently, like the average, I think like 60% of Americans do not have enough money to like cover a $600 emergency expense or something like that. Yeah. Change is coming. I just wonder what it's gonna look like. Weirdly enough, it might end up looking more private. That's the joke as well, where the thing that we're fighting is technically the exploitation of peoples, and capitalism as it is right now is unfortunately set up in a way where it facilitates the exploitation of peoples. Eco-socialism is definitely a step in the right direction, but the amount of societal change that will be expected of us when it comes to our values. Bruh, this fly is teaching me deep patience and calm. Yes. Love is true. Enough to relocate to Mel's Garden. Technically, yes, bro. $1,200 would get you here, man, at the very least. The call log is stored by people I call. I see the numbers, not their name. I get you. I just know myself, Luke. Let me show you this, bro. Let me show you something, dude. So you can see what type of person I am. Right? So here is one of my folders. And you'll see, bro. Like this folder has data, bro. Like information on information on information. All of those that aren't struck out are stream topics I haven't done yet. So every single time a stream topic comes up in my mind, I write them down, right? And then once I've talked about it, I strike them out. I can't actually go back to them and maybe like do other videos as well. But now there is this whole list of all of my stream topics that I can add to whenever I want to, so I don't forget. Then in that one is notable streams. So the streams that I really enjoy talking about, I save their names, so it's a little bit more easily accessible. Then in that folder, there are other two folders. One is my data points. So if I want to do like a stream topic about a certain thing and I do want extra data points, I would add my data points into this folder. And the other one is content from content. It's where I literally expose myself to content and then generate content, almost like live. Another folder. And that's just my topics folder. Then I have a future ideas folder. And in my future ideas folder, I have a folder for John, where me and him's ideas go. And I have a charity folder. And then I have in that other folder, more folders of more ideas and more text that I've written down. And then I have meditations. And I have about to mention this. And then I have a Meltmore folder. And in my Meltmore folder, there's arts and AI tools and builds, stuff that I'm doing. Then I have journaling. And in my journaling, I have daily and weekly and monthly and quarterly and manifestation and questions and train of thought and journals and tips and gratitude and my festivals. And then I have Love is True. where I have addresses of friends that I want to send stickers to, where I write down gifts for friends, comments worth saying, stuff that I'm supposed to remind myself of, information I need in order to save the world, what the Meltmore space means. Then I have videos ideas, I have reading material where all of my reading stuff goes, I have food and nutrition, I have business ideas, and all of these folders have folders inside the folders, and sometimes the folders inside the folders have folders, right? It would be unfeasible for me to try and keep all of that spaghetti inside my mush, right? So I see my technology as an extension of me already. It's not you forgetting how to remember, it's you learning how to remember technically in a new way, right? In my mind, it's you learning how to remember in a new way. Because instead of having to try and remember everything with my brain mush, I get to remember things perfectly, right? And as soon as I believe our brains aren't actually meant to remember, our brains are meant to experience, right? And generate an experience from that experience, right? Create. Our purpose is to create. But once that creation has been made, if it's not stored in some way, if it's not recorded as a live stream, as a song, as a piece of poetry, as a journal entry, as etc., 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 it is lost to mind, right? To imagination. Like when you have this amazing idea as you're going to sleep and you're like, oh, I'll totally remember this amazing idea tomorrow morning. And tomorrow morning comes and it's completely gone, right? That to me is an absolute shame. And it's something I do not tolerate. And if I have to use my technology to help me, I shall. Very cool tablet. It was a gift from my dad, bro. How nice of him, man. Thank you, Dad, for giving me this tool to create things. This tool is also what I use to create all of my flowers. So it's like it's a perfect medium for me to do the things that I'm supposed to be doing. I only remember a couple of phone numbers. My brain now uses that space for memes. Sounds about right. I don't think I remember any. I think I remember my own cell phone number. Literally, the only cell phone number that I memorize is my own. Because every single other cell phone number that I have on my phone. And also, you're like, oh, Melvin, what if you lose your cell phone? Then I can go to a public library and I can access all of my numbers through my email account. Right. Oh, what if there's no public libraries? Then I'll ask a stranger. What if no stranger wants to help you? Then I will become the thief. Sorry, Ajahn. My phone gets stolen. Guess I'm stealing phones now too. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even joke about this. Hey, it's nice having you here, Zano. I save numbers, but I don't have you saved. But if I don't have you saved, it's a compliment. Weirdly enough, I have a friend who is like that as well, who still doesn't have my number saved, who still doesn't have my name saved to his phone, just my number. And he said the same kind of thing. I remember dialing numbers on a rotary phone. Yeah, I did not exist when rotary phones existed. Right? Like when my consciousness started switching on, I was already aware of my dad's Nokia 3310, right? And I could play Snake on it. And we had a very big box computer, you know, in the home when I was around 6 as well. So for me, technology was normal, right? There was nothing weird about it for me. And in fact, I could not justify doing anything else, right? And I'm still like that, technically. As a child, if I wasn't forced to go outside or forced to eat food or forced to do something else, I would just play games indefinitely, right? Like I definitely gravitate towards that experience. I'm learning things about myself right now. Even though I know these things about myself, I still feel like I'm just by paying attention, I'm learning, right? Just learning. Nokia phone rules, love is true. Melt, das, too many things on one thing. Wouldn't you even forget some of them? Yeah, I do. I do forget. Many of them have been forgotten. That's the point, Zano. That's the point. That's why they were documented so that I can forget them. That's the beauty of it, right? Like I can feel comfortable. I can feel safe forgetting things because of my technology. I can forget that I have a call, right? And then my calendar reminds me, hey dude, you have a call in like 10 minutes. And I go, oh goodness, oh yeah. That's good that I had this reminder, you know. But up until that moment, I didn't have any anxiety of when is this call gonna come up, you know. Oh no, 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 no. So that's the way I see it, you know. I see it as like our technology are supposed to ultimately serve us, you know, and it can only serve you as much as you allow it to. And all of us need different things from our technologies, so there will be differing uses. Wouldn't that mean you have to do inventory of all of your folders to keep it organized? Yeah, but I can also just attach my AI to it eventually, you know. And then as I'm spitballing ideas or as I'm curious about new ideas that I'm supposed to be pursuing, I have all of this data, right? All of this mental juju that wanted to escape that I actually took the time to put down into my digital medium. It's like it's a form of crystallizing my consciousness. My Nokia phone, bar, candy bar phone, yeah, exactly. Also, they were so hardy, impossible to break. Like the battery life was also incredible on those things, Raviv. Incredible pieces of technology. I have some Durban poison. It's a very kind of like creates a little bit of anxiety in me strain. And that little bit of anxiety helps me talk more, it seems. Let's see how this affects us today. The wind is stealing my heat. Do you have trauma around forgetting things? I don't think so, Zano. Like I really thought about it, you know. And I remember losing my keys as like a teenager when I was in the hostel, you know, and I couldn't get back into my room and I had to go and ask the teachers for an extra key and then. But that's more negligence than forgetfulness. Maybe some of the trauma with forgetting can come from like my relationship with my dad though. Because so many times we'll have a conversation and then I'll say something and I'll be completely misquoted. And then it will be stated as fact that this is in fact the quote that I said. And it drives me insane. There's very few things that makes me as angry as you misquoting me and then taking that as fact, right? And then painting me to be a certain person because of this misquoted, you know, fact. Like it makes me very angry. And I feel maybe that could be one of the reasons I'm a little bit obsessed with crystallizing information, right? Because you can't misquote me. It's literally live, right? Sure, you can edit parts of me out and then take something out of context, but that's not a misquote. That's just out of context. Again, right? And if that person wanted to, and eventually with the internet, they'll be able to analyze that misquoted video and go back to the exact snippet of time where that was taken from, and they'll get to experience the full spectrum of it, right? So, yeah, maybe, maybe Zana. That's an interesting question to ask. Thank you for asking it. I feel like I'm learning some things about myself. Like technology can encourage. I want to say honesty. Encourage sounds better. I absolutely have trauma about forgetting things. It started with the ECT and has never really gotten better. You want to tell us more about it, Louisanna? Mel keeps folders like I keep notebooks. If I had to guess, it's just an organization thing. I won't use different writing mediums together, so I have mine separated by gel, dip pens, ballpoints. Yeah, exactly. For me, it's the same thing where I am unwilling to write different fractals of myself in the same book, right? Where if I am doing a book on manifestation and I write in this book as an act of manifestation, that's the only thing I'm going to write in that book, right? I won't turn to the next page and start writing ideas for businesses, and then turn to the next page and then write ideas for AI tools, and then turn to the next page and then write ideas for videos, right? That I will absolutely not do. Mm-mm-mm. There needs to be new books, whole new fractals in which only the ideas, in which only the AI tools, in which only, right? That's the way I have to be. It's like being AI, honestly, right? Like if I consider myself an AI and I have a data set, right? And the data set that I'm supposed to be analyzing is that of manifestation, and I'm supposed to be generating a frequency in my being with that energy of manifestation. Now I'm like manifesting, 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 and then I'm like suddenly, oh, this type of foods that I want to eat, oh, these vitamins are good for me, right? Like, yes, that I could technically manifest better foods and more vitamins, but that's not exactly the mode of consciousness I'm operating in right now. That's why I kind of like get so pedantic about the no food, on the stream as well, because it's like we're opening a fractal like that, right? And I'm like, we're consciously evolving here in this fractal. And even though food is great, I don't think food facilitates conscious evolution, right? Sure, food can be a part of your conscious evolution as you learn to eat better, as you learn to eat healthier, as you learn to respect your relationship with food. But that is still you consciously evolving. The food isn't doing the conscious evolution, right? So yeah, thank you, friends, for asking these questions. I feel like I'm getting to know myself a little bit better as well. Maybe you getting to know me better is making me feel like I know myself better. I have that sometimes. Like I freak out if I lose my keys or forget them somewhere. My dad used to get like impossibly mad at me. They say stupid insults if your head wasn't attached. Yeah. My family's ones was as jou gat nie aan jou vas was nie, sou jy hom agtergelos het. Right? Which goes, if your ass wasn't attached to you, you would have left it behind. Which is kind of funny, right? Like I get up and my ass isn't attached to me. I would probably forget my ass somewhere. I probably would, right? So I get that joke. I am kind of aloof, but I haven't lost something in a long time. The last time I lost something was in 2020, 2019. Yeah. No, 2018. That was the last time I lost something. I went to a festival with someone who clearly had intentions, not sexual ones, but ones, let's say, right? Like I had to play a role, and this is not exactly the role I chose to play, but it was expected of me. That's as much vague information as I will give on the matter. And I was at the festival, and we were in like a little space. We had like a little blanket down on the grass, where we had our stuff put down, where they were rolling joints and sitting. And I wanted to go dance because that's what I like doing. And it's not that fun dancing with a bag. And it was a small little bag, right? It's not that fun dancing with a bag or a cell phone or your vape on your person. So I looked to him and I go, can I leave my bag with you? And he goes, yeah. And I go dancing. And I dance, and maybe 40 minutes or so pass. And I look to my right and I see this dude standing not where they used to be. And I think, I'm gonna walk up to them, and then I see the other people that we were with also walking up and standing there. And I look around them and I don't see my bag with them. And I go, do you have my bag? And he looks me dead in the eyes and he goes, it's not my job to take care of your bag. And I go, fuck. Oh, and I run to the spot that I left my bag and it's gone. My cell phone, my wallet, my vape. I had a Relo, was it a Relo RX something something. It had three 18615 batteries. I had Rip Trippers, the Pharaoh tank. I built my own coils. I braided my own coils with wire, straightened them out, burnt them in, had a pair of ceramic tweezers, and I got very pedantic about it the way I like to. And it got stolen. And I kind of like put down that hobby when it got stolen. But that's the last time I lost something. Still sucks. Still sucks. I also lost a significant amount of trust for people that day, which I feel is the biggest loss, honestly. Like things can be replaced. That amount of like loss of trust for people is very hard to get back. Yes, bro. It messed me up. It's still messing me up sometimes. I think I'm over it at this point. Right now, I can look back at it and be like, wow, what a story. Could I get that story for the amount of money I lost? The fact that I had to buy myself a cell phone again, and I had to be embarrassed, right? That was the real thing as well. Like, so embarrassed. I didn't have money to buy a cell phone. Like, I was earning at that point $350 a month. $350 a month. And my rent was something like 150. So I had $200, a month for food. Can't buy a cell phone, and eat food, bro. So my boss had to buy me another cell phone, and we had to get the cheapest one possible. So it was like $110 cell phone or something. And it was in 2019. So the tech was still very immature for the most part. The battery was absolutely trash, and I was driving so much, so the battery would not hold up to being used as a GPS. Bruh. Man, yeah, I learned a lot about myself. I did. I'm still learning a lot about myself, so those experiences are also valuable. We haven't evolved past food, Mr. Lasagna. I know, but we're getting there, Joy Vive. We're getting there. Where I come from, we already have. That's why I like it so much. Having come back to Earth at this time, bro. I'm like, shit, dude. This stuff is so addictive. I want to continue eating it, and I continue eating it. And then my body starts falling apart, bro. And I'm like, what's happening? Oh no, the consequences of my own choices. Hey, Jovan is here. Bless you. Love finding your beautiful faces in these beautiful places, as we love finding you with us. There we go. Joe's getting a pink hand as well. Man, I missed a bunch. Sorry about that. Okay, this is a big one. Feel so comfortable within this community. Is it cool if I come out? I'm gay, and we're still cool. Hope so. Of course, Simon. It doesn't matter to us who you love, Brother Bear. Just that you love, right? That's what's important. Not who you choose to love, but that you choose to love. That's all that's important. You are so loved, Brother Bear. Sending you blessings, man. Thank you for feeling vulnerable and safe enough in this space to come out. You are safe, 100% so. ECT takes away chunks of your memory. Too bad you can't pick what to forget. Yeah, that does kind of suck. Losing chunks of your memory. So I'm curious now, Novazana, if ECT took a chunk of your memory and somebody reminds you of that memory, does it come back? Do you have some sort of recollection of it, or does it completely feel foreign? Like, you have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. And if they had to show you a video or a photo of what it is they're talking about, would that jog some sort of memory? Because again, I believe in experiencing things retroactively through our digital mediums. I can like experience feelings and depth and understanding looking back at myself from 2 years ago. Looking like I've watched the video of me mourning Kiki's loss probably more than I've watched any other video on my channel. Like, and I want to cry just thinking about it right now. And every single time I watch myself cry, I cry. And now I'm watching myself watch myself cry, and that's making me cry a little bit. Even though I do actively forget that Kiki is no longer here, right? And it's not necessarily forgetting as much as it's not thinking about it. That is, yeah, something that's going to be there forever. And I feel like through the digital medium that we have, right, Pippi will not live indefinitely. Neither will I. However, this stream might outlive both of us, and people might still feel love all the way on the other side of the world, on the other side of time, even. All right, that's the trippiest part. And there might be entities watching this on the other side of time. I don't even know what that means, but it feels trippy just in saying it. I'm fascinated by the stories of people who can remember what happened on every day of their lives. Not sure I would want that ability. Neither do I, Mojo. I don't want perfect memory. I want perfect recall, right? So if I want to recall a memory, I can do so perfectly. However, in my day-to-day experience, I do not have to be burdened by it, right? And in a weird way, using my technological medium to remember for me, that's exactly what it ends up creating in me, right? Where I don't burden myself. I don't worry as much anymore about what it is I'm going to say if I know I have things worth saying lined up. Because the version of me that has to be worried about what am I going to say in my stream already worried about what he's going to say in stream. And because he worried about that, he documented what he wants to talk about. And now, from that moment on forward, the version of me that I am gets to not be that version of me, right? I get to mode shift, completely different consciousnesses, and I get to operate in a different plane where I don't have to occupy myself with having to remember things. Like, I'm confusing myself with this conversation a little bit. I understand what I'm saying, and I can understand how these things, affect my experience. But I also understand that I'm talking to a friend right now, right? And I'm saying things from a place of understanding about myself to someone who might not understand. So I don't know how this is being received. Love is true? Yes. Okay. Of course. We're still cool, Simon. Of course. Thank you for trusting us. Exactly. Might as well be honest. You were loved, dear friend. You would have left it behind. You like that one, Loza? Lies. You just lost Melita a few weeks ago. I mean, I didn't lose Melita. I just misplaced, right? Like, loss is loss, right? Like, that's like a finality. It's now gone. It's not now gone. Technically, in that case, I did lose my jaw harp, since 2019. That's more recent. That's 2021, 2022 or something. Shit. What time? So yeah, I did lose that one. I still think the grass ate it. I think I sat down with it somewhere and the grass just consumed it, bro. Like, that's the only reasonable explanation that I can find. I'm rocking chain wallet for 5 years. Like a wallet that is on a chain on your body. I'm believing. Needed to get it off my chest. Thank you for doing so, Simon. In my family, my mom scolded herself for being forgetful. I'm such a dazzle. I don't know if it's that German or Yiddish or made up, but it's always the first thing that comes to my mind when I forget something important. I have to catch myself, and I'm saying something like, "Oh, I'm such a human being." That's beautiful, Rosanna. Yes, we are. Sense of fractal donation coming up. Your friends are already donating your time and your energy to me right now. There's 11 friends here, 77% on my battery, 47 on that one. Nice. More synchronicities. Melt, here's an example. Someone will mention a movie from around that time, and I say, "Oh, I've always wanted to see that." And then I'll watch it. And at some point, I'll go, "Yes, I did see this." Yeah, for me, that happens too, right? Even at my age, Louisiana. But I think that might have something to do with weed, to be completely honest, right? I don't know if that's ECT as much as it's just me smoking a bunch of weed while I'm watching a movie and then not really focusing. Maybe watching a movie, smoking weed, and talking to someone at the same time, right? And then I'll watch the movie again, and then I'll be like, wait, this feels oddly familiar. Why do I feel like I know what's gonna happen, but I also don't know what's gonna happen? So yeah, again, I believe that there is experience being had in those fractals as well. It's not necessarily bad. It's what it is in that moment for me. You can be happy as you want. Exactly. Oh, you didn't mean that kind of gay. That's cool too. Proud of you for being you. Love is true. All above and below. Thank you, Joe, for blessing all of us. Love that. Self talk is so important. I've been able to catch myself before I think bad for the most part recently. It is that catching of yourself, like interrupting the pattern of negativity that starts being generated inside. And it really just takes a moment to just break that pattern and then to readjust. But it will be one memorable scene or moment that will spark familiarity. So who knows what else I'm forgetting? Family and husband will mention things that I have zero recollection of. It's disturbing. There are ways. There are ways to mitigate that. I get it, right? Especially with the fractal of your mom. Especially since we know there is like diseases like Alzheimer's. My family, like my grandma, passed away from Alzheimer's. So the matriarch that made my father, that made me, died of this disease. Right? So I'm aware of that genealogy, coming down into my being. And that forgetfulness is something that I'm very fearful of as well. But there's a difference, Loizana, between forgetting some things with like the ECT potentially and, having Alzheimer's or something like that. Like it's a loss of yourself. And I feel you're very much yourself, Loizana, at least from what I've noticed, despite maybe forgetting some things. I don't think you're any less the fullness of Loizana that I've seen you as. If I forgot I saw a movie and sit down to watch it again, that means it wasn't memorable enough to grab me the first time around. Yeah, exactly. A good movie, in that case, to fractal with you, Sam, in my mind, is one that I think about afterwards, right? When I'm like, yes, bro, that movie, right? And I hope that this stream does that for you, friends, too, because that's what's the most important to me, right? If I watch something and then it completely disappears from my mind because it held absolutely no significance whatsoever, right? That feels like the worst case scenario for me. Mel donation. Thank you, bro. They know. Thank you for blessing me. Some of your abundance, man. It truly is always an honor to receive lovin's from you, friends. I'm also now readjusting my mind, right? Like I posted a sped up version of me editing yesterday's flower, and I'm being a YouTuber and I'm looking at the statistics and it doesn't bode well. Do you friends like the flower creation process? I might I might end up just keeping it for the member friends, right? Like the 9 to 10 minute ish type of videos. But maybe the quicker ones aren't that good. I think it might just be too much for people because people are like skipping rather like nay. Nay, please. I cannot. Isn't it weird to go back and watch your old streams? Yes. Yes, it's very weird because I'm no longer that version of me. But I'm also like, even if I had to, and literally I can do that, if I had to scroll down and play this live stream that I'm doing right now from the start, and I see that version of me talking and doing things, even that is a little bit weird to me, because I'm already not that person anymore, right? And that's the whole fractal of Meltmore. Like, you aren't this person you think you are, technically, because this person you think you are is going to be someone else an hour, 2 hours, 5 days, 5 years, 50 years from now, right? And that process of change is the only constant. We're going to melt more. This ego is going to melt more. And then we're going to recast it, and we're going to recast it, and we're going to recast it. And all we have to realize is that we have to stay fluid, right? Instead of finding ourselves in these rigid forms of patterns. And that's kind of the thing that I'm tripping out about. Is because I can see the rigidity in the pattern, right? But fortunately, I also know that there are tools coming out that's going to make it exponentially easier for me to do it. So I'm like on the fence, and you're like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? So when I do my flowers, it's as easy as scrolling down, hitting screen record, and then just going through my process. Technically, I do feel pressured. Like my process of creation changes. And that's the only reason I'm kind of apprehensive about it, right? Because usually when I make my flowers, I do it very methodically, sometimes even obsessively, and usually I end up getting lost, right? In a good way, at least in my mind. It's getting lost in like thought patterns and considerations, thinking about how you could have done things better, how you want to do things better going forward, kind of like thoughts like that. And I'll literally get stuck just looking at the screen, doing absolutely nothing, going down one of those thought holes, right, for like 5 minutes, and then I'll come back, and then I'll continue making my flower, right? However, something changing. However, it's changing more. Okay. However, when I am recorded, it changes my state of being, where I'm like, shoot, bro, somebody is watching now. Now somebody is suddenly watching, right? And then I can end up being a little bit more rushed. I end up being a little bit more succinct, where I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna do this. Now I'm gonna do this. Now I'm gonna do this. It's more like a process instead of me going through my process. Does that make sense? And then I end up, I don't know. It still like ends up being a beautiful flower, but it's different. And then I have to go through the process of getting into my editing software, which is not that big of a deal. Fortunately, it's pretty easy to speed things up as well at this point. And then I just render the video, and then I post it, publishing my title or whatever. So it's not that much legwork, but again, in this fractal of trying to remain fluid, especially since I already have so many vessels, let's call it, right? The vessel that is yoga that I pour myself into, the vessel that is this live stream that I pour myself into, and the vessel that is my art that I try to pour myself into. Like I don't know if I want to close the corner, by adding the video fractal to it necessarily as something that I want to continue doing indefinitely. Again, fortunately, I could eventually just record in the background and then tell my technology to automatically edit all of the blank spots out, right? And then publish it automatically with a title to to my platforms as well. So you friends have to let me know, right? How much do you like it? That definitely does influence things. Like if it generates more love in the world, then I'm willing to forego my process. I can do that afterwards. Technically, I end up saving time, right? I've literally spent 2 hours making my flowers, and that usually gets exhausting, right? It gets like you feel like you are hanging on like by a thread. Yeah, okay. My mind, my mind has gone so many places in this, trying to learn, right? The things that we already know. Flood the connections I've made. Love the trigger thoughts and the flood of info that comes when the connections are made. Exactly. I'm kind of used to it. Thanks, Simon. I'm kind of used to it. But I hate having to explain to people. I feel like I'm making excuses for myself and I'm often not being believed. Fortunately, what other people believe, it's none of your business. Live your life. You are loved, Louisiana. I'm sorry that you have to even explain yourself at all. That people aren't a little bit more understanding. People forget things. It's not that big a deal. My need for storing thoughts have reduced. I don't feel bad needing reminding. Yeah, I just feel too responsible, Luke. Like I can't not. I feel like it might rain. I think that's why the energy changed a bit a while ago. Like something definitely changed up there. Something was like so. It was kind of odd. Just be yourself, hon. We love your input, exactly. I had a memory like a steel trap until COVID. I don't know how or why, but now my memory is spotty since lockdown. That's pretty trippy as well. Sam, I'm talking about really good, important films, though. I have no qualms about forgetting a not very memorable movie. Yeah, that's also maybe the other side of it. I forgot to watch the flower creation process. Don't worry about it. Right? Like there's so much. There's so much. I don't need a 10-minute long video for every day's flower, but I mean to watch yesterday's. It's my super busy season at work, and I forgot. It's okay. Love is true. Joy V saying that she doesn't need one every day is already like helping me adjust my calibers. We haven't seen Pojo in a while. Anybody have some time? Send Pojo a message in Discord. Tell him, what's up, bro? We're missing you in the melt stream. My memory of past events in my life sucks, but honestly, I don't sweat it. I don't know what I've lost, so I don't really feel it as a loss. Just trying to live in the present. I feel the same, Mojo. Right? And I know now that even if I do end up losing, and I know for a fact that there's so much memories that I've lost, right? And I can know it as well by just watching my own streams back, right? Because I can listen to myself saying things that I can't even remember saying, kind of vibe, right? And still, I don't feel like I've lost anything because that version of me has not been crystallized, right? And I do believe the technological trajectory that I'll be taking is going to allow me to reconnect to that version of myself, right? I'll get to be a super consciousness just by connecting to my own. That's literally what I think we're supposed to do, right? Again, and I've shared this before, but I want to share it again to put this in our minds to remember this, even though we know it, right? Or maybe we don't know it. Maybe you'll know it now. I believe BCIs, brain computer interfacing technology, is going to be a big part of our species, right? The ability to use your brain to connect to the internet directly, right? Sounds cool, sounds creepy, potentially. Oh no, if I can connect to the internet can connect to me, yada yada. Scary, scary, right? That's usually where people get stuck with thinking about BCIs. I would like to pose that I believe the true strength of these tools is in connecting to yourself. Right? Really think about that. Because that thing is technically supposed to be able to read an electrical, signal well kind of vibe and write into that electrical signal well. However, when we think, we have this thing called a default mode network, where your brain, due to kind of like resource constriction ultimately, tries to form a very efficient pattern of neuroactivity, right? That kind of like operates as your day-to-day state of being, you know? And that state of being can get very calcified, and you might end up getting stuck in your ego and in what you believe is your reality. But that is kind of like how it is. And I believe brain computer interfacing technology is going to allow us to connect certain regions of our brains to other regions of our brains in ways that we've never been able to. And in doing so, we are going to learn more about ourselves, so much about ourselves. And I feel that's where I am super excited for the potential of this technology, because being able to interface with the internet quicker and with my technology quicker, that is going to make me an order of magnitude more powerful when it comes to the art I can create and the amount of reach I'll have and being able to share my art, the products I'll be able to, you know, render, the outreach of creating channels of distribution, of connecting the right people to the right people. Like that capacity will instantly, you know, go up an order of magnitude. However, however, the ability to connect to yourself, right, is something that can technically be infinite in density. Because, like, for instance, the current technology is 1000 by 1000, I believe, right? Yeah, 1000 by 1000 nodes, right? So just in that, there is so much depth of just depending on what patterns you create on your own brain, right? Reading into yourself and then seeing what information read into you generates out of you. Like it might be weird. I don't know if we'll even be allowed to do it, but I think that's going to be where a lot of conscious evolution is going to occur really quickly as well. I somehow thought that video was on Patreon and then couldn't find it. Just realized now it's on here. It looks interesting. I've always wondered how you do that. Now you get to see. Sending you lovin's. Thank you, Louisiana. I just watched it. I like the flower. It looks like the stained glass window in Notre Dame. That's a massive compliment. For me, you don't have to show how the sausage is made, just make beauty and post it. I like the idea of keeping it for patrons. I also like the idea of keeping it for patrons. That's why I, you know, at most, like, you get to see the final flower for maybe like 3 seconds or something, 5 seconds, you know, on like the little short video. And yeah, since it's only the members that gets to see it. I also felt like I'm kind of okay with it, right? But like the art, for me at the very least, is like me giving you pieces of my soul, right? And it is technically my number one, you know, food provider right now. Like technically in nature, flowers are technically the thing that needs to happen first before it can be pollinated. So a little fruit can end up growing. So that's literally how I see my Patreon, is little flowers that I'm creating that you friends have allowed me to grow fruit with, right? Your capital, your donations is like the pollen fertilizing. Is it fertilizing? Yeah, the little flowers allowing me to grow fruits of it. Just a screen recording isn't enough for me. I like to see your face, but that's also the thing, Zano. My face would probably be. I'm not joking. Right? When I'm focus mode, I don't look like a nice guy, unfortunately. I look like I'm dead inside if I'm focusing. And then weirdly enough, the thing that I actually am, the thing that's ultimately focused, is already dead, right? In the same way that it can't die, it's already dead. That it has died so many times that it's more dead than it is life at any one moment in time. This might be a little bit much, but yeah. Love is true. Okay. Yeah, it was cool to get a taste of the process melt. Have you thought about animating your flowers? I dig that trippy kaleidoscopic effect. I have some of those actually. Mojo. Let me show you what they look like. Mm, 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 mm. So here will be my folder of of animated ones. This one moves super slow, so it doesn't really look like something's happening, but then it's gonna pull back again. A bunch of ones I made. We'll hit some more kaleidoscopic stuff soon. Of course. There you go. But again, I lack control, right? Because I would like to be able to map this thing to every single time I have amplitudes and volume. It opens up and closes back up, like a little mouth talking. But again, I don't have nodes like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. These are the ones I made for the bee. So yeah, there's some of them as well. But again, like the size of these media files. Like that one is 34 seconds long and it's 660 megabytes. All right, like that's a big file. It says 160 megabytes for a 34-second video. Makes it a little bit hard for me to deliver the product. Unless you're literally downloading the HD files from me, you're going to have an inferior experience to the one I'm actually trying to create for you. That's why I want to build my own platform, like a little museum to put my flowers in, where you actually do get the full images and you can actually go up to them and see the detail that I'm trying to give you. Animated fractal flowers. I also didn't realize you had merch on your YouTube. I just bought a 10 to the flowers t-shirts. It's so cool. That is the exact same flower that's on the mug I got from Redbubble. Bless. It's true. I think that's also a PNG one, right? Like YouTube recommended I create like one merch item, and I was like, YouTube, and like every single time I would use my studio, it would be like, and I'm like, okay, fine. Oh, you're fine, YouTube. I'll create a merch item. And I think it does kind of like recommend you buy my merch items and my like short videos sometimes, and these ones as well. Thank you, Loazana, for buying a 10 to the flowers t-shirt. That was like the first proper me trying to design something, effort that I put in. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Post a picture, please do. I don't know why I see red flags when you weave the word power into BCI. Again, fear, right? Like human beings seek power in so many ways. For me, power is the ability to take something from an idea to actuality. That is power to me, right? Do I want power? Yes. Do I want power over people? No, because that comes with a slew of responsibilities, right? And not only responsibilities, but like you have to be the one that kind of like stands up and takes the brunt, if shit goes down. And I'm not that person. I am at the very least, as I've said to you many times, a mirror. You get to look at me and reflect about yourself. Right? And I am willing to go to the extremes of editing my genome and putting chips inside my brain. You might not want to do that stuff, right? And you don't have to, but I probably will. And once I do, I'm going to continue doing this with you, friends. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I continue to be a kind and loving human being, right? That would be the ultimate like Uber joke is I go through this process of showing up for love, trying to be a good person, and then I get a BCI and I suddenly turn into, like the biggest bad on the planet. At least you have video evidence again, right? Be like, oh, look at this, maybe we shouldn't get BCIs because it turns you into a raging psychopath. However, I would like to believe it is a matter of how you use your tools, right? If you use your tools to fanatically, try and destroy government entities or to try and, uprile one group of people against another group of people, or if you're trying to like extract some sort of information and that information is creating paranoia in you and that paranoia in you is creating the sense that you're being watched and like they're coming for you any day now, and then that level of you're feeling like you're in a box creating a sense of extremism where now you have to do something before they get you, like all of those fractals will always be available to us. They're available to every single one of us right now and in this moment without these technologies, right? Again, I would like to believe I have spent enough time to get to know myself and to get to know love, to realize that there is no escape from it. I believe no matter what I change about myself, when it comes to my physical form, the version of me that is unchanged, the version of me that cannot be touched, consciousness, will still be here to love, right? There's nothing I can do to defile my consciousness. Nothing, right? It's untouchable. It's eternal. It is infinite in nature. It is everywhere, right? There's nothing I can do to make it less than. All I can do is experience through it, through this consciousness that all of us are experiencing through. And changing things about my biology, changing things about my neurology isn't going to take me away from that. Nothing can, right? It's like the grace of God. Nothing can take you away from that grace of God, right? It is given to all of us like the sun is shining upon us. And even though there's a little bit overcast, still there is light. Amy, it has been such a long time since seeing you. Sending you blessings. What a pleasure seeing your name here with us. What have you done to Pippi? She has been passed out the whole stream. I haven't done it. She's not passed out right now. She looks like she's looking at ants or something. You're looking at ants, Pippi? You see ants? You see ants? Scratchy, scratchies. It does feel kind of heavy here, right? Like it feels very like that moment I went through where I feel like something changed. It felt like I suddenly lost like access to parts of my brain for a second. It was kind of weird. No. Okay. Do you have a projector? Would be cool at a festival. Mojo, that's literally the business me and John are starting this year. We're starting a business where we're using projectors and we're going to be projecting my flowers onto like the stages. We're going to be masking and stuff, so it won't be just straight my flowers, but that is exactly what we're going to be doing this year. Thank you for the encouragement. Makes me even happier to see you friends thinking the same ideas. I could get high and watch those flowers more for hours. Nice. Good. Good. It's working. Greetings, y'all. Greetings, Nancy. Bless you. I'm yelling all your names in my head, so it's loud. Love you, Shell. Thank you for joining us too, dear friend. We're just about getting around the time where we'll be pulling some cards, getting ready to play some kalimbas. Let's see if we're gonna be tripped out by today's synchronicity with the cards again. You friends ready? I ended up diving a little bit deeper into the whole Pleiadians thing, and it was pretty interesting. That's all I'll say, That's all I'll say. I am an absolutely beautiful human being. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Dravy. Love is true. You friends ready for a card pull? Project your ideal card. Having considered what we have considered today, being willing to learn things, right? Even though you believe you already know them. getting to learn, getting to know more about yourself. Like this deck is messing with me a little bit. It's definitely messing with me, especially since I decided to start today's card pull by talking about yesterday's with the whole Pleiadians. Ple- Yo, that bird tried to poop on me, but it missed me by like a centimeter. How lucky! And like I'm technically sitting a little bit off of my cushion as well. You see it? Look at that. That's where it fell. Like it fell. Nice. Uh yeah. The Pleiadians, right? Apparently, the Pleiadians are a species of aliens that either through starseed, as in they as souls came from a different star system and they incarnated on Earth as human beings, or as actual aliens here on Earth right now, trying to help us steer humanity's evolution in a positive direction. And oh, here it is. The card we pulled today is light blue and creepy. There is some light blue, but this one isn't so creepy, at least. This one is kind of serene. There's planets, and there is someone sitting on a hill. Starseed. What lights you up? What lights you up? We need more people who are letting their souls come alive. What lights you up? Okay. Let's read what it means. Number 50. One more time. Is that a mermaid? I mean, she has leggers. So not exactly, but she can be the lady of the mer if she wants to be. I'm enjoying the new deck. I'm so happy, Jeremy. Me too. Right. It's one of those things that I was putting off because I don't want to spend the money, but this has already been more than worth its salt. Starseed. Page number 50. Starseeds are souls with a double mission. Yossi, dude, like the Pleiades one literally had that as it starts as well, wasn't it? Let me see. Okay, not it starting, but the second paragraph starts. You are a soul who has a double mission. And then today's card. Starseeds are souls with double missions. To raise their own consciousness, conscious evolution, and the consciousness of the planet. Sharing it. They are old souls who have incarnated elsewhere beyond this planet. Many starseeds arrive with a feeling that time is running out and that there is something that they came here to do, create, or contribute. If you pulled this card, it is to confirm that you are a starseed. Little spider was on me, sorry. Little dude. You are a starseed and you are being encouraged to answer the call, to follow what lights you up. Once awake, most starseed souls find it hard to have meaningless conversations, jobs, and relationships. They initially know that there is much more to life and feel that there is something more and get to work. They remain restless until they step into their calling, while it is too light, which is to light up the world with their unique presence. This feels like this whole deck was like made to just make me feel good, you know? Is that your intention, Rebecca Campbell? Because you're succeeding, yo. I'm feeling pretty good being a star series. right? And I do consider myself a flower of love, right? Like a seed being planted on earth, growing. I'm still a sapling at this point. My flowers haven't even, well, technically my flowers have started growing because I'm making them. But when it comes to like the real stuff I want to do, right? Like the cities I want to build, like those flowers haven't even started growing. Yeah. Star seeds are scattered all over the planet in hospitals and schools and slums and mansions and stages and in edit suites and parks and nightclubs and taxis and theme parks. Many star seeds spend parts of their lives trying to fit in or in some form of spiritual closet. If you are dimming your light to fit in, it is time that you stop and start embracing the unique light that you came here to share and treat your time on earth like a glorious vacation. What lights you up? What lights you up? What makes your soul come to life? What inspires you to share with other people? For me, it's my flowers. And you friends allowed me to share what lights me up as well. And the fact that I'm now entering this new journey of like creating a business where I want to go and share my stuff with projectors at festivals, and Mojo being like, yeah, you should totally do that, Mel. And me literally doing that right now. We already have a gig, Mojo. Again, it's a free one. I won't get paid, but I also won't have to pay for the equipment. So, you know, it's slowly but surely. Love is true. Man. My soul is getting lit up right now. The Palladian book, Joy, where they're from, they were presented as benevolent. Yeah, they are pretty benevolent. I remember I read the book, having conversations with a friend who also reads it. How about that? My mom's maiden name is Campbell. How about that? More synchronicities. What happens when you throw dirt on a star seed? They grow even stronger. They grow even stronger. The Russian made contact with a number of species, but only a few of them were known to be benevolent towards humans. Not really remembering the specifics. Holy shit, this card resonates. Love to you, Loizana. Thank you. Thank you for being here with it. Hey, the demon. I was thinking about you today. They tried to sell me a pair of DJI Mic 2s, and I was like, thinking about you, bro. I'm sending you lovin's. How come the Russians get to see different species? I think, like the Russians literally have like bodies as well, of like entities that crashed, but they stayed frozen because of how freaking cold it is there. It's like literally the entire country is a natural, preservation ground for alien corpses. I posted the website attached to my gallery exhibit in general. If you get a chance, please read. Let's read it right now. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. 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 Eating my pineapple pudding. I don't know cats eat pineapple pudding. Soul existence. My wrist has been giving me some challenges. Okay. So I'll show you friends a little bit of the photos that they posted. Once they're all loaded, there we go. This is what the article looks like. Some of Zano's flowers. She paints these. And there is our Zano. And it goes as such. Featuring the stories and artwork of Susanna Smith, honoring our beloved Zano. January 23rd to April 14th of 2023. Extended to April 28th by popular demand. Local artist Susanna Smith has lived in New Toronto area for nearly a decade, with Colonel Samuel Smith Park only a few moments away. The park, surrounding landscape, and rich heritage offers both an artistic draw and reflective space for her. Butterflies are deeply symbolic to Susanna and her maternal family, and are a key focus in interpreting her expression of her mental health journey. Explore Susanna's story in her own words, illustrated by an expansive kaleidoscope of over 75 paintings of third floor gallery of Lakeshore Grounds Interpretive Center. From Moments from the exhibit. Good evening, and thank you all for coming to celebrate the closing of my first solo art exhibit. I believe these are Zano's words. I am so incredibly grateful to be given this opportunity. This exhibit could not have been put on by a more supportive and understanding team. I also want to express my gratitude for Nadine, for her and her crew being so supportive and the most excited that I've ever seen about butterflies. That truly made this exhibit a huge success. The marketing team and amazing designers for coming up with the book idea and being so ready to use purple as the theme. Thank you for being the cherry on top. You all worked tirelessly to ensure that this exhibit was a success, and you nailed it. When I sent Nadine and her team the narrative behind these 76 paintings, they were all ready to post my intense story straight on their walls without a second thought. It has been nothing short of humbling, the interest about this small peek into a snapshot of my life living with mental illness. The butterflies are very important to me. They have a visual representation of my story and the impact of the two very different sides of my reality. I know firsthand the impact that mental illness can have on a person's life, and I'm committed to doing everything in my power to help others who are also struggling. I want to thank the Interpretive Center for shining a light on the importance of mental health. The work and exhibits you all hold space for is truly inspiring, and I'm honored to be a part of it. I also want to thank my colleagues in the mental health community who work tirelessly to support and empower individuals who are struggling. Your dedication to the cause is truly remarkable. I want to acknowledge all those who directly have struggled with mental health issues. You are not alone. There is help available. Please know that you are deserving of love, support, and care. The exhibit is not just a recognition of my work, but of the collective efforts of everyone who is working to destigmatize mental illness and promote mental wellness. When we all work together, we can make a difference. Before I bring this speech to a close, I want to leave you with a few parting thoughts. First, remember that no matter where you are in your journey, you have the potential to make a positive impact in the world. Second, embrace diversity, inclusivity in all aspects of your life, and seek out the opportunity to learn from those who experience perspective different from your own. Finally, be kind, be curious, and be courageous in all that you do. Thank you again for being a part of this incredible event. I wish you all the best in your future, and I look forward to seeing the positive changes that you can bring. Let's continue to celebrate and support the arts in our community. Thank you, Zana. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm happy that we could read that. Don't exactly want to follow that, but I'll go and play my kalimba. So much love to Zana. My first time, I'm excited. Dream Sam? Did I miss something? Man, I think I missed a bunch. That's just the information I have, Joy. MJ12 handles all the official communications for this country and others, which details I'm not privy to yet, hopefully. You were on my mind too, and for the same reason, the DJI-2 might not be worth the upgrade unless they can fix the current issues of a firmware update. I may just pick up the DJI secondhand. That might even be better, bro. You might end up saving cash. And if you don't want to, get like some of the accessories that will benefit from having the newer antennas that come in the DJI-2s, if you just want to connect it to your cell phone the same way I am, then these ones are going to do exactly what you need them to. I'm anticipating some pretty wild dreams this weekend. Fit. Is Fit not smoking? Thinking of going to the beach. Love is true. Dream Sam? I'm also curious. Other dreams? The schedule. Reddit calls it male world. This contagious space people go to when they dream at night. Turns out I'm not the only one it happens to. How about that? Mole world. people go to when they dream. Maybe they're seeking that, you know, that unity again. I would love to go to the beach, Nancy, but it's pretty cold in Ireland for such things. That's probably true. What's bourbon? Fit going to warm up a bit this weekend. Still no showers weather. Love to all of you friends. I'm gonna get myself set up. Gonna go and sit on that rock. Because a bunch of people might end up selling their DJIs as well right now, dude, of them getting the twos. So that would make sense technically as well. If you can get them for like around 100 to 150 bucks, that would be a real steal, dude. Like this is good tech if you can get it for that price. You might not though, because people might still, you know, want to sell them for a lot, but you might get lucky. Okay. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you a lot for reading, Mel. Thank you, Zano, for creating, dear friend, for sharing your journey with us. You're doing exactly what God intended for your life, dear friend, and you're making all of us proud. I hope you know that. I wish we could honor you even more. Have like a whole party. Yo! Yo, Zano! I love you! But honoring you by reading your words is the best we can do for you in this space, dear friend. I'm feeling the need for negative ions from the ocean. Yeah, me too, weirdly enough. I've been feeling the need for negative ions coming from the Hartbiesport dam. The dam I'm going to be living close to. I'm gonna try and make like a thing of it to go and negative ion myself in the water every now and then. It's so wonderful, Zano, to be an artist appreciated in your own time. It really is. That was like the thing that I was thinking about as well. Joy, like not many people get that. Not even our G, the Van Gogh himself, got that. But at least our beloved Zano does. Gets honored for her work, gets seen by her community, by her space, gets uplifted for exactly who she is. This is who we want to be as people, right? But sometimes we have to create the environment in order to facilitate. Ah, ooh, okay, let's go. There we go. Our stream has come to its end. We have shared some time with our friends. What's up, Doger? Back again. Ooh. I'm gonna have to lengthen my legs. It's more level. At least. Okay, that was being shared. And shoes is here as well. Bless you, dear friend. Joy, I'm looking forward to hearing about your trip tomorrow. Maybe I'm not on all messages or something. Mole world. Clear. Nothing but silence in my mind. Swimming in the sea. Joy, I'm looking forward to hearing about your trip tomorrow. You're moving near a dam. I am, Joy Leaf. Am I missing? Going to look at some burbs. I missed that message. I did. That does sound like fun. We're going to be friends. That is true. Yeah, water too cold. I don't have a wetsuit. Is the stream over? I just got here. Yeah, hand shoes. We just finished playing our kalimba. We've pulled our card. We're wrapping up. We're gonna stream tomorrow again, though. Right? That's the nice thing about the Meltmore streams is, if you miss today's stream, you can always make tomorrow's. Right? And they're all recorded, so you can watch them back if you really want to. If you have that FOMO. Zano, I love that it was extended due to a popular demand. I'm ecstatic that your efforts were so loved and validated. You're so worthy of being seen and adored. Yes, yes. And more yes. Thanks, Mel. Thank you, Nancy. Joe, it's a feminist burp club. They're gonna be walking one of the regional shorelines and marsh areas. It's been raining a lot. It was canceled last Saturday, but tomorrow it's supposed to clear up. I hope so for you. Joy Vive, have fun. That sounds like such a cool time. There's our Shan message. I know people go bird watching at the bulb. Tomorrow groom. Love is true. I used to be one of the nighttime streams people. Then those were a thing on Reddit. I remember those hand shoes. Man, Reddit. I was thinking about this literally yesterday again. Just how lucky I got. You know, how lucky all of us got, if I want to extend the lucky, right? That we actually got to meet one another because of Arpan. Joy, I want to ask you about a misogynist bird watching club, but at the same time, I'm afraid of pissing you off. I also wanted to make jokes, but I was gonna just like be completely hands off on that one. Joy Beef is laughing, at least good. Have the mostest. I had to add volume. They were in capital letters. Beautifulest day, everyone. You're for really realsy, realsers, and for truthsiest and truthy truths, so very muchly held closely, mindfully, Meltmore, and all of you. Oh, so very absolutely, positively, undoubtedly, unmistakably, perfectly, giddily, wholeheartedly wholesome humanimal critter creatures, allowing yourselves to relearn the fundamental truths we already innately understand. Man, I'm seeing one of my flowers on like a lollipop stick. That's the closest way I could explain it. And it was moving. Love is true. Thank you, Joe, for our goodbye message. I look forward to seeing you friends again soon. It's my first time. I'll tell you all about it on Sunday. Bless you. Joy Vive. We'll miss you tomorrow. We'll surely notice your absence, but we'll celebrate you having a good time watching them burbs. Go and love. Go and be the expression of love in the watching of the burbs, right? You need to get ready for the day until tomorrow. Love you, Nancy. Bless you. If you use the British definition of bird watching, it becomes misogynistic right away. Bruh. I mean, the best part is that misogynistic bird watching club will call themselves feminists, and they'll be like, yeah, we support women by looking at them, We're like cheering them on. Look at us being so feminists. Streaming is at 6, Burbs is at 9. Streaming is at 6, Burbs is at 9. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, but you'll only be able to let us know on Sunday because you would have only then had burped. I love you, friends. Thank you for joining me again. I'll see you tomorrow. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, it is kind of funny, right? And again, the whole misogyny thing. Yeah. I'm just imagining like a whole group of dudes that come together and just like bird watchers with like binoculars and everything, just goes to the beach and ogles women, and if women walk up to them, they go like, no, don't worry, don't worry. We're a feminist bird watching club. We're just watching from feminisms, right? From the feminist perspective. So we're not male gazing you. We're we're looking at you through eyes of admiration and empowerment. Bruh, please no, stop. British bird watching equals American cat calling. I think bird watching is more just the watching, right? I don't think you get involved. At least from what I understand, bird is like American chick, exactly. So, love is true. I love you, friends. Thank you for ending today's stream off on such a giggly note. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye, dear friends. Until tomorrow.